Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So these are my thoughts on yet another incredible, impressive performance and just a phenomenal result all round. I mean, obviously this is on the 4-2 win that we've just had against Brighton, and it just continues the great feeling at the club at the moment. I mean, we beat Barrow 5-0 in the week when Nkunku got his first hat trick for the club, which was an amazing moment. But now 4-2 against the team Brighton, who obviously they haven't been beaten all season. Everyone knew it was going to be a difficult game. Over the last 2 years, this match has really gained. These two clubs have really gained a rivalry with each other, and the matches now have a real bite to them ever since this new ownership took over, and obviously started buying loads of Brighton players, including took their entire backroom staff and manager. So anyway, the first of all, we'll start with the lineups. Sanchez in goal, Gusto on the right, Fofana and Colwell as our centre backs, and Cucurella as our left back. Obviously, Caicedo and Enzo in our midfield, and Palmer up front with Sancho on the left, Madueke on the right, and Jackson just up top. So we go into this game, and the first few minutes it didn't feel great. Chelsea didn't look that composed. Brighton really felt that they kind of pushed themselves onto us, and their first goal comes from just it's a combination of just a really bad clearance and just awful goalkeeping. Obviously, the ball's in the box, passes back to Colwell. Colwell then just tries to clear it. Not a great clearance. Takes a deflection. Ball goes up in the air, and as great as Sanchez has been over the last few matches, and he's been key to us actually winning a lot against West Ham and against especially Bournemouth, he was awful today. I mean, this first goal, the ball goes up in the air, and he's never going to get there. He's never going to get there. Cucurella's challenging it, but there's two big Brighton players who are there. Sanchez he's just never going to get there. So he should just stay on his line, and then it's just an easy save. Instead, he goes to try and challenge for it. Obviously, he gets nowhere near the ball. It's a header by a Brighton player, but again, the header's not that powerful. It's not that impressive, and it essentially just rolls into the back of the net. And maybe Chelsea from a couple of years ago, or even last year, you'd feel like going 1-0 down, the heads would drop. This Chelsea is completely different. The Chelsea this season don't care about going 1-0 down because they know that we're good enough to get back into the match. And after we 1-0 down, we started to completely take over this match. We started to dominate, control possession. We started to cut through their lines like they're nothing. Enzo was outstanding. Didn't get the assist he deserved today. But again, plays a lovely ball over the top. Palmer is through on goal. He chips the keeper. Unlucky, he hits the post. I mean, Enzo would have got a great assist there. And then a minute later, exactly the same situation happens. Palmer's just offside. And you feel that it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. It's only a matter of time because we're now in complete control. And then through ball again. Jackson then just passes the ball to the edge of the box. Palmer is there. It's 1-1. The game's completely different. As soon as it goes to 1-1, you had a feeling we would then just completely take over. And obviously we get a penalty for the second goal. And then I mean, he's not missed a single penalty for Chelsea since he's joined the club. So again, you knew that he'd score it. Easy, 2-1, and we're completely in control. And then for the third goal, again, it's a counter attack which starts the whole move. We go forward. They could easily have gotten a red card. Could easily have gotten a red card for bringing a player down. They didn't. It was only a yellow. I thought it should be in a red. It was through on goal, but again, got a free kick, and this was just incredible. This was just perfect precision into the top left-hand corner of the goal. Keeper had absolutely no chance. I mean, he's never getting there. Just absolutely perfect, and I mean, a hat trick within half an hour. It's just amazing. He really is just improve. Somehow he's improving from last season, and it makes it even more frustrating that he didn't really play enough in the Euros because England could potentially have won if he had started that game. But anyway, so obviously we're 3-1 up, and we're completely flying. And I was at this point I was counting how many goals we were going to score. We scored 5 against Barrow, we scored 3 against West Ham, our attack is looking unstoppable. And then another absolute howler from the goalkeeper. Um, Obviously, it's just a pass back to Sanchez, and he just, I don't know I don't know what he was thinking. He just passes it to their player on the inside the box. Their player then shoots, scores 3-2, and you're like, you're frustrated because you're like, all of that effort to then completely control the game thrown out the window because our goalkeeper has just decided to gift them 2 goals. Um, and then the bad feeling didn't really last long. Obviously, Sancho is then through balls it to Palmer. Palmer then first time into the bottom corner. I mean, it really, and it was phenomenal. He's also broken the record now. He's the first ever player to score 4 goals in the first half of a Premier League match. No one's ever done that in the Premier League history before. So that's another record which he has. I mean, he's now, I think he's top of the table for goals and assists. I think he scored the second most amount of goals and got the second most amount of assists, and also is like the second most amount of key passes. He is just he reminds me a lot of Eden Hazard, and obviously he was probably my favourite player to ever play for the club. But he reminds me a lot of him. He just take the game by the scruff of the neck and just create something. But 4 goals in one half is ridiculous. And at that point, at halftime, you know it's done. You know we've won the game. It's all about then, can we keep a clean sheet in the second half, and maybe can we add to that? Um, but yeah, at that point, I think we were probably third in the league. At the moment, I think we're fourth because Liverpool are winning, at least at the time of recording this. But yeah, so we go into half time 4-2 up, and it's just a very good feeling. So we come out for the second half, and it's just more of the same. It's just absolutely more of the same. We're in complete control. We're dominating. We're just flexing how good our attack is. And the reality is, we could easily, and I mean easily, have scored another 3 or 4 goals in that second half. Brighton couldn't do anything. Defensively, we were a lot more solid. But offensively, we just, the amount of opportunities that we create, that Palmer, for instance, creates, is just exciting to see. I mean, there was one moment where I still don't know how he did it. Ball comes to him, and he just curls it over all of the Brighton defence, over the top of them, and Jackson controls it really well, goes around the goalkeeper, and just, I don't know if he just lost his nerve, or he's just not completely confident in himself at the moment. But I mean, it could have been one of the best assists I've seen in a long time by Palmer. And yeah, and obviously then he had another massive chance where we regain control, possession, and ball gets to Palmer. He's through 1-on-1, and he misses it by a couple inches. But it's incredible to see it, and we're just looking we're looking so good going forward. I'm still a bit nervous about our goalkeeper situation. I know Sanchez has played brilliantly in the last 2 games, but today was just more proof that he just has these moments where he just switches off, and you can't really afford that if in this league. I think what our next game is, obviously our next game is against Ghent, and then it's Forest, and I think Liverpool's coming up as well. Yeah. So our next game is against Ghent in the Conference League, which again I feel, I mean, we can put out a completely different attack, and I still have complete confidence in these players. But yeah, I mean, and then Forest and Liverpool. I think Liverpool starts the kind of the difficult part of our kind of this season. It goes like we have Liverpool in the league, Newcastle, then United, then Arsenal and Leicester, and then Aston Villa as well. So we've got a difficult run coming up, and at that point, I think we're really able to see how good this team is. But yeah, this a lot of these matches which we're playing at the moment really just turns into, we will score more goals than you. We're not brilliant defensively. We're solid. We're not perfect, but offensively, I mean, I think we've got one of the best attacks in the league. I'd argue that depth-wise, we probably have one of the best 2 attacks in the league, because every attacking position we have 2 outstanding players where if you drop one and play another one, the quality doesn't drop. It stays about the same. But yeah, so it's really exciting to see. And again, incredible that Palmer broke the record for most amount of goals a player scored in the first half of a Premier League game. But anyway, guys, again, if you enjoyed this content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all on the 3rd of October when we have hopefully gotten another win against Ghent.